Hi, my name's Steve, my business partner Austin, and today we're going to be looking at doing an SEO audit manually. So we all know that you can do them with software and you can get a printout and stuff like that, and then those are good. But you also don't need to spend the money on the software, you can do it yourself. Um, Audits will be your number one sales tool because you build credibility and you're not selling at this point, you're just diagnosing. It's like a doctor. You go to the doctor's office, or in this case, we got Fond du Lac dentist up there. They tell you, okay, we did some X-rays, and you're gonna need two cavities, and you got one root canal. So he's just telling you what you need. You can decide to either do it or not do it. Um, and in case of the root canal, probably go ahead and do it. Otherwise, lead to some other problems. But that's for another time. So what you'll need to get started, it's really simple. You'll need a Google Chrome browser. You'll need to look at Google Maps, and you can use some free tools. There's a lot out there. Google Search, you could use Bright Local, gives you, I think, a 30-day trial. Moz Local, White Spark, they all give you some kind of a trial or a free part of it. So take advantage of those when you're starting off. And of course, you want to have a notepad to mark down exactly what you're finding, and get the links in there that you've noticed a problem with. And you'll want to get the business name, address, and phone number of every place you're working with, and we'll talk about why that's important. So let's look at exactly how this audit will work. So first, search the business name on Google and find out if a Google business profile exists. And what you're seeing here under Fond du Lac, Wisconsin dentists, these people all are in here, so they all have some kind of a Google business profile already. So, and wow, this one's got 770 reviews at 5-star. So obviously there's a lot of money in Fond du Lac dentistry. But and then is it claimed? And I don't think I'm going to be able to find one that's not claimed. But
Maybe some of these.
yeah, I think every one of these is going to be claimed. Let's just click this one and see what we find out. I'm pretty sure. But how you find that out is, of course, my computer's running. There we go. So if you press claim this business and it comes up, we're actually able to manage this business ourselves. So this one is not claimed. So that is an excellent place to start. And if you reached out to this person, you may well be able to get a client, because this particular dentist, as of 6/10, 2026, has not been claimed. So we're giving you some business right off the bat that has great potential. The next thing to look for, so that's the first one, claimed, is NAP, name, address, phone. The name, address, phone needs to be the same across every platform. So you would want it to be the same as is listed in the Google Business Profile. So in this case, even though they didn't claim it, this is what Google believes they should have it listed as, and the name and the phone number. So you have to check across all the different areas if that's correct. And this is one where the free thing from Bright Local could help you check the NAP, and any inconsistencies you find, you can show them that, and that let them know that needs to be corrected. Is the primary category the correct one? And in this one, he just lists dentist. Let's just look and see if there's anything else that maybe could have been or should have been. So he also does cosmetic dentistry, implants, root canal. So I can't tell him what he should have listed first there or not, but I know that he should have at least had extra categories. So you can see down here, They've got dentist and endodontist, oral malleofacial surgeon. Sorry if I botched that one up. Okay, here's one that listed a lot of good stuff, and this are all things that were missed by that other dentist. I think he does almost all of these things and didn't list any of them other than dentist. So bring that to their attention. And that's of course either the primary or secondary categories. Primary needs to be your main thing. Dentist is a good main one because that's what people search for a lot of times. But those secondary ones are the money makers. Description, does it use keywords or is it generic? I'm not going to go through each of these, but you'll be able to tell. If you look at the description on any of these, if they're good or not good. You can look at the about and see what they add in there. All these things that they're not doing right, you need to bring to their attention. Reviews, they should be responding to every single review. And because this person has not even registered or claimed their business, they can't respond to reviews. So let them know how important that is. Are there photos and how many? Let's go back up to probably a better one. Let's see how this one's doing. But you want to see photos in there, and you want them to be fairly recent, because that's going to make the difference between Google and your customers, knowing a little more about you. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have put ad. I meant to plus all here.
I think those are all Street View.
And yeah, so we got really nothing here. So that's another thing. Bring that to their attention. You want to have fresh pictures at least every 6 months, and if you're doing it right, you could do it daily or at least weekly. So these are all things that all these dentists need help with. Are there Google posts? And I'd be willing to bet not any of these are doing anything with that. Let's see. We'll go to this one right here and see what we got. It doesn't seem like we've got a lot going on. So these reviews, I'm seeing no responses here, which is what we need to see. Let's look at photos. At least we've got apparently I'm assuming that's the dentist, and so they've at least got some things to show they're there. But in a perfect world, you'd like to get this updated frequently. Services and products listed. Most of the dentists will have something in there about that, but if they don't, let them know that. And is the website link correct? And you'll be surprised how many of these are not correct. We'll just check one here, see where it goes to. Okay, this one was correct, but you'll be surprised when you check these how many are not correct. And if I was doing this audit too, I'm probably jumping ahead a little bit, but I would like to see them put the town right in this hero section. And they do have a call to action. Let's see where this goes. Okay, so at least they've got that. But it's small. I want my call to action to be prominent, and so they can see that very clearly. I'd like it even more centered up, but at least they've got that there. So, red flags, no photos in the last 6 months, point that out. 0 or very few reviews, point that out. No post in 30 plus days, and that's almost true for all of those dentists. The wrong categories, no description or a weak one, all stuff that's important. Google Maps ranking check. So, does the business appear in the map pack? If not, where do they rank at? So in other words, when we search Fond du Lac dentists, or if we're in Fond du Lac and search dentist near me, are they showing up? Who's in the top 3 and why? Look at their reviews, photos, activity. Explain that to the business. That's why they're doing better than you are, because they're doing the other things right. And search from the business's actual location using the maps and find out if they're ranking locally. Try 2 to 3 keyword variations, such as in this case, like we talked about, bookkeeper near me, or dentist near me, Fond du Lac dentist, whatever it is that you're talking about. Make sure that that they're in there properly for what they should be. Website audit. Pull up their website and ask, does a website even exist? So we first up, every dentist should have a website. Let's look at a different one. Let's look at Fondy Family Dental. And it is slow loading, but it came up at least. One thing they did well is they've got Fond du Lac in there, but they're missing the call to action, which is the most important part of all of it, so that people can either schedule the appointment or call them, whatever it is that we need them to do. And it doesn't seem like we get that anywhere. So I'm not crazy about a picture like this where, I guess you can consider that fun or whatever, but I don't think that necessarily spells a dentist that I'd want to put my full trust in. But to each their own. You want to make sure it's mobile friendly, and you can test that on your phone to see how it loads on your phone. And does it load fast? You can go to Page Speed Insights to look at that, and that's free. That's an important thing. I think this one's going to end up bad because it seemed like it loaded slowly for me. And we already talked about we want to see that town in there, which we did get. More complicated stuff, title tag in the service plus location section. More complicated stuff like meta description. Are there H1 and H2 tags with keywords? Is the NAP on the website, name, address, phone, and is it matching the other one? And let's just see if we can find that. "35 West Scott Street, Fond du Lac, Wisconsin." 35.
Wrong one again.
Whoops. 35 West. Okay, so note this. This is something that is going to get missed by almost everybody. So you want it to be exactly the same. And if you look at this, you're going to say that is exactly the same, but not to Google. In this one, they wrote out 35 West, W-E-S-T, Scott, and they wrote out street. In Google Business Profile, they abbreviated West and they abbreviated street. That needs to be corrected. Google can view that as something different, and they do view that as something different. It needs to be exactly the same. And this will be the last thing we'll look at. Well, 2 more things. It'd be nice to have a blog or something where you can keep fresh content on there. It doesn't look like this one did that, and most of them do not. They do have a question section, but that's just, it's not a question answer, so that doesn't help. And the most important part, well, maybe not the most important, but one of the very, very important parts is if you go to their category section, and in this case, they didn't probably put enough categories.
That one's a different one.
Okay, this is a different one. That's why that threw me out. Let me get rid of that. So Fondy only put dentist, and so let's look at one that would fit this criteria better. We'll go right here. For all these you have listed here, you want a separate service page for it. So dentist, cosmetic dentist, dental implants provider, you want a separate page in your services section for each of those, and including to anything else you have in there, but you need to get those in there. If you've got those, that sends trust signals across the board to Google, and that's exactly what they're looking for. If you want to throw in a testimonial and review, that's fine. It could be helpful. I found it to be not as helpful as people would think, just because people normally are going to look at reviews on Google Business Profile and Trustpilot and trust those more than off your website. But certainly, if you can get them on the website, that's going to be helpful and not hurtful. I'm going to turn it over to Austin now.
So you want to check for citations and name, address, phone, consistency check, like he was talking about. So citations anywhere where the business is listed online, like Yelp, Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau, Facebook, even Apple Maps, and you want to make sure everything's consistent and there's no even minor differences like he's talking about, and there's no duplicate listings. I actually think the one we found earlier that was unclaimed was a duplicate listing. Let's see if I can find it again. So I think it went to the same site. Because this was the top result, right? And this was the one. Yeah, see, they're all the same.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna click out those. So that's a duplicate listing. You want to get rid of that, and that's unclaimed too. So, you can use there's a free tool. It's called, let me show you. Moz deck. And you can enter your NAP and it will see if it's listed and if there's any inconsistencies. I'm not gonna do this right now, but and part 5, you want to review profile check. So how many reviews do they have? What's the average rating? When was the last review? Recently Google's changed, so are the reviews like descriptive? Because Google's been rewarding reviews that like mention like specific things like that you do. So say your dentist say, "Oh, really helped with my dentures, and they stay open past 5. They stay open until 10 p.m. So if you're searching dentist late, they're more likely to show up. And if you're searching dentures, they're more likely to show up. It's are they responding to reviews, both good and bad, which in this case they're not. Do they have reviews on other platforms like Facebook, Yelp, the Better Business Bureau, and how do they compare to the top 3 um, in review count? So in this case, Doyle Kelly is quite a bit behind. Yeah, you can say, oh, we can get you up here. It'll just take time, but and stress why it'd be important for them to be in top 3. You wanna?
Okay, so why is this important? This is important because this is where you can get and will get customers. You can show how smart you are and how knowledgeable you are with this information. And you can show why are these in the top 3, and why is your customer all the way down here. And you can explain certain things why these are happening. And this one's not as good because that's an orthodontist. Let's see if we can find a regular dentist. So even this one's more of a surgeon. Let's see. Let's just find a regular old dentist down here. My computer stopped moving one way or the other. So, okay, here we go. So basically what we're looking for, I'm trying to get up to this dentist and see who this is. Okay, Boudry Dental, Dr. Tammy and Boudry. Why is she down here, and why is her competition way up there? And let's take a quick look and see if we can give her some ideas. Well, there's no town name listed in here right off the bat, and we don't need this is not a good place for an about us link. This is your place to get your call to action. This is a place to get your call us or have an appointment set up, something you can do. And giving back is not what you want there. So right off the bat, they're making mistakes. You can show that right up, that they're losing. When customers come here, they're not going to want to scroll through and go through all these hoops to figure out how to contact them. They're probably going to go someplace else. Let's see if they have a nice Google Business profile set up. which I would be surprised. And I don't want to do a post audit right now, but just looking at things, I'm not seeing very much going on. They're not updating. They're not giving me any new information. Um, the pictures are not anything that they've even provided. So there's a lot that can be done there. And you can see that these dentists are very great at what they do, but as far as marketing goes, they're very bad at that. And that's where we come in. So if you show them you're an expert and that you can help them get, you know, let's say you're charging $1,000 and you get them 2 extra customers a month, I'm 100% sure that pays for that, in and of itself and then some. So get yourself out there, do these audits. That's going to be your business maker. You can also, there's a lot of different softwares you can get out there that'll help you get these if you don't want to, go through it yourself. But do that and you'll be on your way towards getting clients and making a lot of money. We'll see you tomorrow.